Hello, this is Vulturefire, and it's time for another Paladin run. So, I've recorded a video a while back when Paladin V3 first hit beta, um, but I wanted to record a new video with the goad strategy now that I've had a bit more of a chance to play with it, and we've gotten a few more patches since then that have changed some of the cards, and I wanted to make sure that I had a video that was showcasing this strategy on the current patch, on the final version. So first of all, let's talk about what goading is. So there are three cards that you unlock at Paladin level 8 that are kind of the centerpiece of this strategy. They are, or that are sort of the highlight cards of the strategy. One of these is Guardian Tactics. Guardian Tactics gives you Reflect 2, and Reflect 2 means that when you are hit by an enemy, that enemy will take 1 damage for each attack of Reflect you have. So with Reflect 2, that is 2 damage. And Counterattack 2. And so Counterattack means if you fully block an attack, in addition to getting the charge up you get for the level 1 Paladin thing, you will get a free double slash. And double slash is deal 5x2 damage to the front enemy. Normally it costs 2, but if you get from counterattack, it is free. And then Guardian Tactics will also generate 10 shield if you play it while you have at least 2 energy. So that's how that works. The other two cards are Goad and Glare, which gives you 4 mana, Tough 1, and Purity 1, with the slight downside of triggering the action of any enemy, which means that you are going to have to force the enemy to do an action, which is a risk, as you'll see, but there's also can be valuable. The final one is Provoking Shove, which you gain plated 4 this turn, and you get counterattack 3, and deal 15 damage to any enemy, but then you trigger that enemy's action twice, which is obviously potentially a very big risk. This one is the one that I am the least dealing with. There's not even in the card pool right now. I probably will end up running it, but it is very risky, and I'm not sure I will end up taking it, but I kind of want to fit it back into the card pool. So our starting deck, we have 2 copies of Focus, because that's just a good card. It's just a good mana card. 2 copies of Quick Start, 1 copy of Resolute Focus, and then we have 2 Guardian Tactics, 1 Voltaic Surge, 1 Hobble, Careless Defense is one of our ways to get tough. Frozen Hide is our other way to get tough, which also gives us Frost Barrier, which has some value. And then we have Accursed Ceremony. And so what Accursed Ceremony is doing for us is it gives Curse 4 to any enemy, and it summons an enemy of Vengeful Shade. And the reason we want this is that summoning enemy of Vengeful Shades gives us a great thing to goad that is safe, even in boss fights where normally we can't afford to goad. Like, we don't want to ever goad Emerald Dragon, for example. We don't ever want to goad Baelator. We never want to goad Maw. Accursed Ceremony gives us something that we can goad safely, and that we will get value out of going. It will definitely attack us, definitely give us the counterattacks, definitely give us the charge ups. And so that's that. Careless Defense is our goad method in the starting deck. It is 2 mana, gain 16 shield and Tough 1. That's a lot of shield. We trigger the action of any enemy. So this does have the, this can be risky. There will be fights where we can't safely play this, which is why we have, also it's only Tough 1, so that's why we have the Frozen Hide. This deck is one of those starting decks that's pretty tight on cards. Because it is so cheap, I could probably afford to fit in the second Voltaic Surge that the deck kind of wants, over either a Focus or a Resolute Focus. That does put me kind of at the mercy of finding more mana fairly quickly, but it might make the starting deck a little bit, because one of the problems you can hit is that this Guardian Tactics does need energy, and if you don't get this Voltaic Surge, it can be tricky to get that to happen. But I think I'm going to stick with this starting deck for now. Let's look at the card pool. So our mana, we have Spry Vigor, which gain 2 mana, gain 3 additional mana if you have no fatigue. We won't have fatigue a lot of the time, so that ends up being fine. Forbidden Rites, gain 8 mana, summon 1 enemy of Vengeful Shade. If we can't summon the enemy of Vengeful Shade, we lose 6 mana. This is another card that we are running primarily because of the summoning of Vengeful Shades. The fact that it gets 8 mana doesn't hurt. Empower is a card that can help if we end up finding any ways to get plated, which I think we have a few. We certainly have some ways to get temporary plated. It also is great with stacking counterattack and reflect, which we want to do. Charged Shield, which is just a lot of shield for a low price. Scramble, which has the ability to change the next action of any enemy, which is going to be quite valuable for us in some scenarios. Unbreakable Hide has changed since I built this deck, and I may want it now. Mystic Shadow Blast I am not a fan of. It ends up being... So Mystic Shadow Blast is our last way to summon Vengeful Shades. It deals 20 damage and applies 20 arcane to it. Arcane to the enemy. And summons an enemy Vengeful Shade. The problem is that in Area 3, it ends up costing us as much damage as the Shade deals. It ends up being just kind of awkward. And I think that we are tight enough on cards that I want to swap that out for something else. Either... I could see Peace of Mind being okay. I kind of want to try Provoking Shove, like I said. Descent into Madness is fun. More mana is fun. Eye of the Storm is also a very real consideration. I think I'm going to put Provoking Shove back in. But I could definitely see arguments for a lot of different cards here. Lust for Blood is interesting because we have ways to generate those angry spirits. And then this works very well with that. Because this will give us Frenzy off of... killing the spirits, so we have easy kills. For our other cards, we definitely want Cultivate because it's just good. Goading Bolt can do a lot of damage and trigger an enemy action. Goading Glare is another way to goad. Mana. Precarious Draw is kind of risky. I'm not certain I think I do want Weary Concentration though. Tyrannical Focus is a card that I am uncertain about. Not in this deck, no. I don't think I want it. Because I don't think I can consistently hit both halves of it. Looking at other cards, so Assault Protocol is a way to give us energy and counterattack. This is a deck that is kind of borderline on being a mental growth deck. It does tend to be kind of slow. Sharpened Senses is an option if we are worried about potentially having some fights where we can't afford to, where we might want to goad but can't afford to deal with the incoming damage, but I don't think I like it enough. I think Charged Strike I like less than just having other card draw like Brainstorm. Let's see, what else can we have? I don't remember if I put in... I don't think I have Deploy Shield in here. I think I do want Deploy Shield. Oh, I need Adaptative Spell, because that's just very good. Just incredibly flexible. And I do have Sanctuary. That's good. Trial by Fire, I have Blazing Ritual. Let's see what cards I could cut. Just quickly clicking through things. Barb Strike is the most important card in the deck that you just kind of really, really need to find. Overflowing Barrier, I don't think I want to take. I think Secret Cache is kind of borderline. And then the question becomes, is this a deck that will take Warcry? And I don't know. I don't know if it is. Warcry is another way to apply weak. We can use the Mighty and the Critical with our counterattack. It's probably worth it. Voltaic Surge is another card that I kind of want to get in here, but we may just end up upgrading the one we have. That would also work. I guess Brainstorm is a little bit more risky if we have the Voltaic Surge. This is also that has kind of a card pool where there's a lot of question of like how much duplication of each effect do I need. But we're going to assume that this works out. So from our market, we're getting a card reward immediately. We have a reroll immediately. We have extra max shield, and we'll be getting extra items from the Aetherflux Converter. And depth 3, and let's go. So I've played this deck a few times, but not as many as I maybe would like. So Assault Protocols isn't ever giving us mana. It's always just going to be 2 mana, gain 2 energy, and counterattack 1. But that's something that this deck kind of just wants a lot. All 3 of these, of course, as usual, you get a choice of 3 cards from your card pool right after you start the game, and you probably want all of them. If you don't, there's probably something wrong with your card pool. I think the extra energy generation is the thing that stands out to me as the most valuable. I'm actually going to take Purifying Shard here because it has value if we end up... It increases our ability to upgrade the Purifying Shard. Or sorry, not the Voltaic Surge, which I want to do at some point probably. I think we're going to go this route. I'm probably saving this reroll to force Toughen. Our boss is Lore Blossoms, so we can pick up Nature's Blessing, which is nice. And we have a shot at Arcane Aegis here, which is a coin flip in this case, but is very good. Okay, I'm curious how much we get out of Toughen. Okay, if it's only 2, then I am willing to do that. Especially with the Purifying Sword. Okay. So we are going to do... We're going to curse the back one. We are going to charge strike. And then we're just going to immediately do this. So Guardian Tactics is the other thing we have to upgrade a bunch. Oh, the other thing is, it's been a while since I played this deck. I forgot. This is one of the only decks where we actually will want to upgrade, where we actually want Thorn Whip, just because there's not that many Reflect cards in the game. So the ones that do exist, we end up just kind of having to take. Yeah, okay, with supercharging. There we go. Arcane Aegis is great. Love to see it. It's a way to generate shield that also has the benefit of tripping arcane detonations. Let's go ahead and get you shutting down. Unfortunately, we do not have any counterattack up yet. And also we are, yeah, just kind of stuck taking that damage. Okay. So, one of the questions is, are we going to supercharge? And the answer, of course, ended up being yes. So we now conveniently have all of the shield we need and a decent amount of energy. Okay. Lots and lots of Reflect, and we can force the attack out. Which has the added bonus of, because this is a Dweil, every time it did its thing, it took its attack, it has this self-hinder, which means that it reduces its own shield when it takes a turn, which, of course, is great news for us. And let's get a couple of that. Spoiled for choice on how to get that. Thorn Whip, again, we'll take it just because it's Reflect. Okay, so Great Bow is now +4 damage. That makes it more tempting, but I still don't think we want it. Sheltering Bracers is pretty good for us because it means that we are less worried about Frail. But Testicle can also be okay. I think we're going to take the Sheltering Bracers because Vulnerable can otherwise potentially cause problems for us. I would like to have found some cleanse before we go in against Vessel of Blight, but I think it should be fine. So this is one time where things can get a little bit awkward, where we kind of want to... I think we'll be fine. Oh, because we're going to freeze. Yeah, that ends up being great. I was thinking, like, I didn't want to have this Assault Wisp get a bunch of powerful, but it's not, because we're cheating at the video game. There's that solved. We can pop you off. Even more. All right, counterattack. We get 10x2 damage because of reasons. Before we do that, though, let's detonate. And we can get the skill. Great, upgrade. Love to see an upgrade. And love to see a Blazing Ritual. So, I'm trying to remember, this goes up to only 3 Reflect, which, same with Guardian Tactics, but And Guarding Tactics Plus is, because it's only 1 mana, is going to be a bit easier to get out consistently. Alright, we did not get the upgrade there. That's a little bit unfortunate. One of the other options that we could have gotten there instead of just some item energy was it was possible to roll an upgrade, and we just didn't. You will reduce all statuses by 10. We'll take that one, sure. Okay. Alright, so we are going to get poison, but we'll probably also be able to force out a freeze at some point, which is nice. Let's go ahead and get as much as we can shield. Yes, let's just go ahead and do that. So the nice thing here is this enemy does multi-hit a bunch, which works out great when we have reflect stacking. It's one of our primary parts of our strategy. Unfortunately, this is not quite going to kill. But this will, which is nice because we want to be able to, yeah, get those hits in. All right. Let's do this. All right. I think we do this now, just to force out the self damage, and then there we go. Made it through a Vessel of Light without taking any damage. Arcane Silence is great. Love to have it as a tool. Soldier's Armor and Enchanted Hammer are both very good potential pickups here. I think we're going with the Soldier's Armor because it needs less thinking. Upgrades here. Voltaic Surge Plus is very good because it just is then immediately a supercharge. Assault Protocols Plus is very useless because, yeah, it's just +1 energy and +1 counterattack, but it also costs 1 more mana because the assumption is you're getting any mana out of it, and we are not. Guarding Tactics Plus, again, we're going to want eventually. Basically, it comes down to whether or not we want to go for Arcane Silence Plus before this boss, and I think the answer is yes, because against these particular enemies, we will want it. I don't think we want to cut anything. All right, let's pop you. I could get this out, but I think I would rather have start the reflect stacking. Okay. Once again, this question of do I supercharge? I think the answer is yes. I supercharge. And I immediately use that to pop out. So one of the notes here is if you have 2 energy left and you play a Guarding Tactics while supercharged, you will lose the 2 energy, and then before you gain the shield, you leave supercharged, which is why I was able to actually gain shield here and I didn't just shock my enemies. Which is a fairly narrow interaction that is important to know about. Okay, so if I play this, I'm going to lose mana. If I play this, I will curse myself because I don't have I don't have room to summon a shade. So I think I want to do this to force out the self damage, and then just do that because it's going to kill. Unfortunately, I couldn't have, because I lost the mana, I couldn't play the shade summon afterwards. Let's see what we can find. Actually do this because that will let me do that. And I think we are fine with staying in supercharge for the moment. Yeah, that works out great. Double explosion. Supercharge does good work. And Goad and Glare versus Refresh is an interesting choice. I don't think I'm taking the War Cry. because I think taking more mana is good. We're going to try the Goad and Glare, and we will see how it goes. How it goes. Yeah, at this point we're, I think, fine just doing that, because we are at this point vulnerable forever anyway. This is a slightly awkward counterattack fight because of how much damage this jerk does, which makes it very difficult to counterattack safely. Yeah, we do get some shield, but... Oh, hey. I totally thought we didn't have enough because I wasn't paying enough attention to how the numbers had shaken out. It's actually very good for us. Alright. Supercharge. This we cannot play. And unfortunately, we are just going to eat a bunch of damage here. It happens. Goad deck does just sometimes find itself in the awkward position of just getting smashed. Sometimes, often, it's the player's fault. I think we just take the... Ooh. Yeah, we just take the toughen here. I think having the access to the heal is too valuable. Spiky Warwa is actually not even that good here, even though that's... You would think it would be great. And I still don't think we have anything that we really want to cut, so I think we are still moving on. If you were a better player than me, you'd probably cut cards more often. Like, you probably are a better player than me. I am not very good at this game. I just pretend to be. Because it's funny. Pretending to be good at games is funny. Okay. We can get Toughen. Seems like as good a turn as any to get Spiky Warbot out. We will get some value out of it this turn. So here's a fun trick. Extra mana. So the reason that was extra mana is that the thing cost less because we were in supercharge mode, even though we didn't have words. It cost less because we were in supercharge, but it wasn't a it was a mana card, so it didn't count towards removing mana. Sorry, words are hard. It didn't count towards removing energy. Pop off all of those things. Okay, something's weird. Something is very weird. Why did that count down energy? That was a mana card. Bugs. Okay, well now we're out of supercharge properly. Let's play that. We can play this, which is safe. We can taunt you, which is also safe. That leaves us with one enemy left. I don't actually want to get this kill here quite yet, because I want to try and draw a Toughen. Oh, whoops, I forgot about the curse. Last Riding Strike doesn't seem that useful. Maybe just take the weird concentration here. We don't have really any card draw right now. I think we probably roll for Nature's Blessing just because it's kind of where we're at. And there's no point even playing the good. Well, Hmm. No, that is worth it, because we have Purifying Shard, so that gives us that purity, which will immediately get used up, but, you know. Boop. That was rude. So we're going to go ahead and do that, because we're not going to get really a better chance at this. Alright, I don't think we want to Blazing Ritual here. Unfortunately, we do now take more damage because of the Death Spores coming out. Let's do that. So unfortunately, these will just pop off purity stacks on the back ones. Yeah, all these purity stacks makes AoE arcane often, or arcane in general, just often not very useful at solving this fight. Even though this feels like a fight that should be where you should be able to get value out of. Oh, I forgot about the tough. I should have hit any of the other ones, it would have been fine. We're just going to eat damage here because I was not paying enough attention. Let's start by drawing cards. Okay. Yeah, we are just going to do that, which I don't love, because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But, all right. Let's see. I get this shield up. If we do this, we explode twice, which we were exploding twice anyway, but okay, so we have to do like this so that we can get, yeah, this fight is just going, this is just a very, very awkward fight, again, for the goad deck, because we can't use, most of the A1 fights are, because we just, like, we can't counterattack the arcane, and we can't afford to ever goad, because all of the things that they do are miserably dangerous. And every time they die, we also don't have great control over when they die, and when they do die, it causes us problems. That fight is just kind of miserable for... Alright, anyway, sorry, I got distracted by Discord, but Nature's Blessing. Charge Shield is also pretty good for us, but I think we need the card draw. This is actually not the worst. Lucky Die is also very good, but I think we'll take Sword and Shield because it's one of the better things we can get as far as that goes, as far as weapons goes, and I think we do take Guardian Tactics. And I think we are moving on. Let's see, who is our boss? Shadowbone. So against Shadowbone, we definitely want to get this Gleaming Aegis. And I also would like to have a cornered focus, I think. Let me think. We are trying to think if I want to... Yeah, I think I'm fine doing that. Although it does mean that there are now all these extra stacks of pack tactics, which can be a threat. Okay. This is kind of awkward in terms of getting out. Cause I wanted to play this, but there was just no way for me to get there, really. I should have played that first. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get more energy. Now I can supercharge, but I don't want to at this point in the turn. We are going to take 1 damage, so we aren't going to a full block, so we're not going to get the second set of stuff there. Let's supercharge. Oh, because now every time we do damage, we generate... I was trying to figure out why that was putting off sparks. It's because we were gaining shield from our new item. Good. What do you think? We have 6 reflect. Yeah, we can afford some. So you'll notice now this trade comes in doing more damage than it did before. So this will deal with those jerks. We aren't quite at full health, but I don't want to let the summon come out. So, more guardian tactics for more reflex stacking. We don't have any barbed strikes yet, which is unfortunate. Focus on our defense. Tough buff, sure. Shield gained on health loss is great. Frozen to any enemy, though, is also very, very, very good. So basically it comes down to whether or not we trust our defense. I think we want to freeze, because being able to freeze on demand is nice. All 3 of those items were actually very, very good, potentially. But so the thing is, if we freeze, then goading a frozen enemy is safe. So unfortunately, we do not have the enemy we want to fight here, which is the Treants. Because if we can fight the Treants, we can get Pulverize, and Pulverize just is a very helpful card to have on hand. Although less so for this deck than most Paladin decks. I'm going to pause for a moment and press some buttons. For you guys, it'll just be a second. All right. So we are going with this fight. So this fight is another one that can be very tricky, but it has a very good card reward. So we're going to do it anyway. And we're just going to have to hope that it works out. I thought that was the goad one because I wasn't paying enough attention. Let's go ahead and put this on there. We will okay. We have to do that. And we don't have to, but it would be very, very useful to have done that. I think we're going to want to do this at some point this turn. And I think now is as good a time as any. And then we are going to supercharge. Let's start by doing this. So the biggest thing this is going to do for us is it's going to ensure that this back one loses the arcane rune that would cause us problems. That's basically free. This works out well. I thought I had more reflect than I did. I would have played that differently if I had realized that I didn't have quite as much reflect as I wanted. We're going to play that first. Oh, I have miscounted my mana. We will get Reflect 5 anyway, and that will kill this one very quick. So we're going to take a little bit of damage here, but nothing too bad. And we're going to freeze on the turn that this one attacks, because yeah, it attacks for a big number. Unless we can somehow pull together the defense, which I don't think we will, but stranger things have happened. Yeah, we did not get an arcane detonation there. How much energy do we... So we actually do have enough energy now, though, so that's going to work out. we can apply weak. Alright, this actually works out very well. So obviously if we could force this jerk to do damage to itself, then that's what we wanted to do. And we didn't even have to spend a reroll on Gleaming Aegis. And obviously we don't have any ways to get that thing out of Gleaming Aegis. Let's start with that. Because I think we might be able to get 2 energy this turn. Possibly, but we wouldn't be able to get... Okay, no, we aren't going to be able to even get 2. Start by doing that. Okay, and we actually do get the perfect block here, which is nifty. Alright, and we got our only actual shield card. So this has the shock barrier up. I'm going to play that anyway, but I'm not going to play that. Actually, yeah, because I do not want to get shocked. And so this way we will hit the purity. Okay, let's detonate you. Let's get purity to block you. And we can do some damage. Whoomp. There's the powerful stacking starting. Now we supercharge. Start with that. Pop off on those powerful stacks. And the arcane barrier, just to make that easier on us. And for our last card, while supercharged, I think we're going to go with this, which will force a shock out. Which we will just use there. Get out more shield, or get out more, whatever. I would love to have a way to get, I can get card draw with this, actually. Worth it. It'll draw us mana. Not really. That is, it's not really mana. But we can play, well, I think we're just going to do that. We'll get us the shield that we want. And it's just a question of, do we want to attack here? Because it's going to shock us. Let me think. We'll need 14 to hit the next thing. We're taking 3x3. We're taking 6 plus 7, which is 30. So we actually do end up being fine because of the purifying shard here. Also because we had enough reflect. Okay, I think Sanctity is the pickup because I think we need the card draw. Ooh, Aether Mantle is interesting. I think we do take Aether Mantle because it makes our arcane stuff better. And for our upgrade, it could be Thorn Whip for more reflect. It could be Voltaic Surge so that we can force into that more often. Gleaming Aegis for the extra purity. Or we might just need to upgrade mana. Because like Blazing Ritual Plus gives us a lot of extra mana to work with. So does Focus Plus. Actually, Weary Concentration Plus I think is the way to go. And I don't want to cut anything still. Because I'm still bad at making decisions. Okay. So this fight seems risky. And I don't think we care about either card that drops. I think we're probably going to dodge both of these elite fights because I don't really trust them. Or rather, I don't trust our deck to beat them. That's interesting. I'm going to report that. So they should get 50% of their shield, but that one got 8 shield. Check the name of that. Sheltering bracers? Sheltering bracers? Because that's only on you, yeah. Let's pop off that. Give plus a shield. And now we can get lots of shield. Gain lots of reflect. And this front one is going to die in 2 ways. Interesting. So the barrier happens before the reflect damage. Get some explosions. I should have just taken the overthink, but it's so instinctive on me to see cornered focus, take cornered focus. This fight is actually kind of tempting for some of these cards here. But there's some very, very good events that could show up. This is not one of them. I think that this fight's worth it though, because like I like both those cards and I don't like either of the cards the other thing drops. So. This should be safe. And we should be safe to actually do it again. Should have done this first. It's fine. Pop. 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 And just play that to a random one. Alright, let's see what we can find. Love the nonsense popping. Let's see. None of these will give us a bonus for. Let's do that. Okay, let's pop yours off. Because this will kill the front one. I mean, the front one's already going to die on counterattack, so. Let's give curse to. Actually, let's not give curse so we can avoid getting this debuff. Play these out so we don't lose them to overdraw. Oh, I should supercharge to get extra damage. There we go. Ooh, Barbed Strike. We need it. Because this upgraded is 5 reflect, which just is so important to reflect stacking. Even though the card draw is also very, very, very good. I just can't afford to pass up this reflect stacking. Let's. So we don't have any ways to actually mitigate incoming damage this turn, which is unfortunate. But I don't really want to burn. We're just going to eat this damage because we got some heal anyway. playing. Haven't actually heard that Doom sound effect before. That's nifty. See if we can get more Reflect, or I can get Curse out. I think we're just going to get more Reflect. We do get to block this Doom incoming. Or sorry, we get to block that Curse incoming. Now we get the Doom, which I think will be fine. Let's draw more cards. This is the card, sorry, this is the card that I was hoping to be able to play, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and heal. And I think we do actually want to freeze out this turn, because I think that getting doomed, I don't know that we can kill this fight fast enough. I don't want to risk dying to Doom. Oh. This is a bit awkward. I don't know what debuffs are coming out here, but it's kind of tempting to do this just because we have all of this Reflect right now. Yeah, I'll just go and do it anyway. Yeah, even though we are taking some damage here, I think that was worth it, because we got so much damage out in return. Kind of awkward set of draws here, but it's fine. Alright, play that first. Let's play that to get to 0. Draw a card. Okay, so now I do have to play this. So I need shield. That didn't get me the shield because I'm not very clever. So now we're just stuck taking the damage. Now, unfortunately, this still leaves us without a shield. I keep misplaying in ways that are devastating, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I just imagine I was dealing with all this nonsense and I was doomed. Okay, we have to do this. We will get to cleanse off the burn, at least. And a lot of the curse. Oh. Yeah, I keep burning off the and then drawing at awkward times. I need more shield generation. It's definitely one of my problems. Get that out. Okay, so this actually does work out for us, because now we get extra Doom. Which... extra Doom is actually good. And like, this guy's never getting doomed again, but that ship kind of already sailed. Which thanks to what I would describe as some creative strategic plays. Okay, so yeah, that fight went terribly, and that was all my... Like, this deck is not easy to play, and it's very easy to misplay. I'm considering re-rolling into... so I do really want this, but I think Shadow Breath is too strong not to have. None of that actually helps, really. And then Shadow Breath Plus is the upgrade, because it's just very, very good. I don't think we quite want to cut Hobble. We might want to cut a Cursed Ceremony. That one's kind of borderline. Yeah, no, we want to cut a Cursed Ceremony because going into Area 3, the Area 3 shades are just too strong to goad, I think. Okay, if we're going into Maw, we absolutely need to fight Protector, as much as that fight is a pain in the butt. We will take... We need the max mana. Growth has been kind of an issue. Alright, so there are some drops that we could get here that would be helpful. I also still need to upgrade that at some point. Right. Yeah, part of it is I'm too aggressive about supercharging, and then it leaves me without the energy that I need for that thing. And it hasn't been biting me sometimes because I will, when I'm fighting enemies that are actually able to attack, I can just rely on them, but that's not always a thing that is happening. Okay. This might be a supercharged run now. Let's do that, which then lets us do this safely. And by safely, I mean for full value. We can do this to put out a shock. Okay, well, it won't quite finish the shock, but we can then freeze to prevent getting cursed and just get out some free shield. Focus Plus would be useful for getting out the Nature's Blessing. We're just gonna do this because it's gonna let us get out more damage. And we don't need that much extra damage in order to get that kill. Sanctuary, love to see it. Especially going into Maw, you'll love to see Sanctuary. It's going to fix several of our problems. Do not love that. We can afford to eat this damage, though. So I guess we're gonna. Because that's gonna do, yeah, that, and then this will pop us exactly, and then we're golden. So we are down 12, so we can afford to play one of these. Oh. So something's up with my cursor not holding down. My cursor letting up when I don't mean it to, which is a little unfortunate, but not the hugest deal. Yeah, I don't know why my cursor is not. I don't know if that's a breach wanted problem or a computer problem. We're going to assume it's a computer problem until proven otherwise. Alright, so we do have now have a bunch of fatigue that we bought ourselves, but it's fine. This card's worth playing. Okay, gotta play that. Okay, that has to go to you, which... That's what we're going to do. We are going to take some curse. But we've applied some curse, so we're currently winning the curse fight. And this also is going to help with the curse fight. This card, Sanctity, needs an upgrade by the time we get to the boss. You. Thank you. Yeah, let's do that. Get the shield. Okay, so we can supercharge. I guess we're supercharging. I think we're doing that. Okay, that paid off in a big way. Alright. Buffs came back out. And we are going to explode again here in a moment. I don't think it's worth playing that. Reflect is not going to be a huge part of the rest of this fight. We're mostly going to win this off just the back of that curse stacking. But we will get attacked at least one more time, so we may as well do that. One. And that's lethal. Okay, no, I lied. That's lethal. Reroll, take clear focus. Absolutely love to see Tiny Book. Okay, this fight can also be a pain in the butt. I do like seeing that. This doesn't do as much as I would like, so I think we're just going to get the extra reflect. Weak. Yes, it is worth playing that because we are cursed. Oh man, that was a great... Oh, because it was the counterattack. I was going to say, this thing doesn't... I didn't think this thing had turns where it's summoned. Alright. Supercharge, so we can take full advantage of these cards. Alright, we can do that at some point. This should shock, which is fun. Get more free card draw. Not the best use of that shock maybe, but it is what it is. And we'll go ahead. Get wrecked. Oh, I wasn't paying enough attention, didn't realize I was throwing the card. I think we've used one rest so far. That's not too bad. Doing a reasonable reasonable job of getting that powerful stacking going. Not powerful, that reflect stacking going. Let's go ahead and do that. Supercharge. Thwomp. And thwomp. And that's lethal. Dig Through Muck is great. It does eat our purity, but it's so good that I can't justify not having it. This is another turn where, like, this is another fight where, like, I just do not want to be, using, whatever a lot of the time. I do want to do this, though. I think that's valuable enough. Because just forcing the opportunist to go away is nice. And now I don't have to worry about it this turn, although naturally this turn we did not draw anything to go with the it would let us draw, so the opportunist is irrelevant, but alright, we can get a pop out. Get some damage. Bonus damage is nice. Card draw is nice. Cleanse is nice. Cleanses off some of our problems. Alright. Donk. Donk. Teaching them valuable lessons. Let's get this fight finished up real quick. Is this lethal? I think this is lethal. And bonk. Alright. Alright, choose card. Persecute is pretty good. I think we just take Persecute. I think all of these are unnecessary. We'll discard. And this thing, the vessels. So the vessels are another fight that can be kind of annoying to... Also, I should check up here. Okay, these guys can also be painful to goad, but we'll figure something out. I do find it funny that I've had several places where I'm like, okay, we're saving our reroll for this, and then we don't end up needing a reroll in that fight. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Get more curse. Trigger that. Kaboom. Right, we don't quite have enough mana here, which is unfortunate. I think we do actually want that. Because do that. Oh, I should have done that first. Oh well. Yeah, so we're gonna take damage here, but it seems like an okay turn to do this. Yeah. We're fine with getting a little bit of curse. Or not, yeah, with a little bit of curse because we can clean off a relatively small amount. as long as we're able to avoid it going too far. Okay. I want to use this upgrade, but we want to... I should have used the upgrade on the focus if I was thinking. See if we can draw mana. See if we can draw mana. We cannot. I have gotten greedy and gotten punished again. Who is surprised? Should have just played the Arcane Silence. This is another one of those where we're goading into getting doomed. Do that, which means that now we actually get shield out of doing this. We get extra doom, just in case we need it. And we continue to reflect all our problems. We should do that before we clear focus. Donk donk. More doom. We did actually need that though, because we have all of this curse that we need to get rid of. So having a way to shield off some of that was nice. Okay. And this will kill you. Alright, and that was we didn't take any recoverable there, which is nice. I don't think we can take the gamble. I think we're going to re-roll and take... Yeah, I kind of like having Corrupted Font. I don't think that's too big of a downside. And we're going to upgrade the Sanctity to ensure that we can afford the Corrupted Font. And I think Careless Defense... I think that's just not going to be good against Maw. Let's see. Let's pop you. I want to use both of these. I think we do this. Okay, in that case, I want all this reflect set up. And I want to pop off some of these powerful stacks. And yeah, this is the turn that I was kind of waiting on for that. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. So the trick here is we do this. Let's see. I think we just do that. And then we're going to take some damage. But it's super worth it. So we are getting set on fire here, which is unfortunate. Okay. So the nice thing here is that we can now supercharge. think we are going to use this freeze on you. Then we can cleanse ourselves of at least some of this burn. So we're going to take still burn damage here, but not quite as much as we would have. Although obviously that is still unfortunate we took this much damage. We do have, so this actually kills that one because we have that one thing. So we're going to do this into that. Let's get a bunch of shield from this. And we can give shield in exchange for all right. There we go. Yeah, took some damage there, but not too bad. We don't have ways to apply burn to enemies. Second Sanctuary going into Maw is totally fine, because Sanctuaries make the Maw fight much easier. This fight seems a lot easier of the two. That's not a great turn one, obviously, but actually that makes it a lot better immediately. And then that's going to just ruin your... Oh wow, that's actually way more damage than I expected to be taking after applying. There we go. That makes it a lot closer to what I was expecting. And we'll gain the Reflect. And just for good measure, you. We didn't have any counterattacks, so we don't get the double strikes, but the double blades, whatever they're called. I'll play this. I don't know if that was the best thing I could have done with my mana, but it's what I wanted to do with my mana. Let's get a bunch of shield. There we go. This is kind of what I want to do now. I also just want to desperately dig for mana, but that seems like a bad idea. I think we've learned our lesson on that one. This is just going to do a decent amount of work in just making our day better and the enemy's day worse. We are not going to Sanctuary this turn. Pop. Alright, seems like a good turn. So, yeah. Shield generation was blocked by the Frail, which meant we were able to get out all the value we needed. And we could freeze out this turn, but whatever. Do not care. Yeah, we could. Actually, I think we're going to do this just as we can. Because we win anyway. More mana. This fight can be a problem, potentially. But I'm sure it'll be fine for us. Nothing I do ever backfires. Nothing I do ever causes me problems. gained a bunch of tough. Applying some weak to them makes things better. And let's Sanctity. Okay, we didn't draw the card that I really didn't want to draw, which is I really did not want to draw the... I really didn't want to draw Shadow Breath because I really want to be able to play that this turn. Yep. Okay. Trying to think through how I best do this. Yeah, let's Supercharge. I do not remember what these things do, what their buff is this turn, which is why I'm not going to goad them. Also because I don't need to goad them. Okay, so they get tough and fortify, which I wouldn't mind goading if I had known, but I didn't, so. Yeah, the main thing I have memorized with these guys is that next turn they're going to cause problems because they're going to do big attacks. Oh, we weren't even tough, but now we are. Okay. Let's just freeze you. So yeah, we are going to take damage, but it's not too bad. And we do want the shield back. We're taking more damage over each turn than we are. Then we gave them shield anyway, so it's fine. I think this is a powerful gain turn though, so we do not want to goad them this turn. And then next turn is potentially a problem. We can't crack shells. So far we can't. Can't. I think this is actually our best bet, unfortunately. I would like to be able to do more. But, yeah, now we're taking actual damage there. Yeah, that's why this fight can be difficult, is that because they are synchronized, they will do their big attack on the same turn. And there's just not a ton you can do about that sometimes. Eat this hit. And by eat it, I mean block it. So this is going to pop off the powerful and some of the and the frenzy on the back one, which is helpful. We can actually... No, we don't want to do that. Aren't going to get to heal again, but it's fine. So I think that was our last fight. I think we have like an event left, and then Into the final fight. Yep. Do we want Pilfering Shell? Do we just want a third Sanctuary? Just to really... I think we want the Trial by Fire. I think we want the card draw. We are absolutely going to take Duplicitome over Deadly Stinger. Let's carefully lead. Sure. Let's think. Do we want any goad cards going into this fight? Which feels silly because like goading is kind of what this deck is theoretically built around. But ultimately goading is very risky against this boss. It was because we didn't end up getting a Forbidden Rites, which, we got the Accursed Ceremony. So I think we'll let it ride because removing cards still requires me to think, and I still do not like thinking. We're just going to assume that everything we have is good enough. Oh, wrong button. Do I get for clicking too quickly? And we have some extra max mana, which is nice because there are turns where we end up sitting on it. There's one of our plated stacks. I should have done that first so that I could get rid of the weak. Let's pitch that. Okay. Yeah, we can hit 0 with that. And let's just do that. And we'll take some small amount of damage. So this is always going to draw Barbed Strike, I believe. I think Barbed Strike is our only valid target for it. Get mana. Get mighty. That forces a shuffle, redraws Barbed Strike. And we're actually fine with gaining more curse. Because I think we should be fine for the moment. We can copy that, which is nice. Although we don't have a way to get shield out. Not much shield, I guess. I guess we're just doing that so we can do this. And now we take just a tiny amount of curse damage. Cleanse ourselves off. Do a monstrous amount of damage. Okay. Do we have another spell in it? Yes, we do. It's Thorn Whip. Yeah. Okay, I'll just do that. We can cleanse off all of our curse. Recurse ourselves. Because we're very good at this game. Should have done that first. It's fine. And we have 2 curse on us, but this is a little bit unfortunate, but not too bad. Because we do get to block all the damage. Yeah, Alright, we are now trying to get cursed again. Alright, now I think we can afford to do that. Because this attack is scaling based on how cursed we are, and we are not very cursed at all. We're not completely not cursed, but may as well heal. This is not quite lethal. And there we go. That's the win. So this ended up not really being a goad run a lot of the time. As you saw, like the goad, you kind of have to very much work around it. You have to know what turns it's good. And you don't want a ton of goad because it can be difficult to use. I think if you want to go heavier into goad, you want to go heavier into freeze, because when you frozen things, when you goad them, they can't fight back. But you saw that mix of some goad and some reflect does work fairly well, although there are fights where it is particularly bad and does cause some problems. We got a bit lucky that we found all the cleanse we needed, but you know, I am running all the cleanse cards in the game for a reason. I do take them very highly. So yeah, run went fairly well. I hope you learned something about how to play Goad Paladin. My deck lists, a link to a page where you can find all my deck lists is in the description. And I will see you guys next time. Toodles.